These animals you're seeing right now are so rare that practically no one knows about them. Hidden in the most remote corners of the planet, they are completely bizarre. Today, we're going to show you 19 completely rare animals. Are you curious? Join us, and let's go. Number 19. The Spanish dancer of the seas. The Spanish dancer is a sea slug that has turned the ocean floor into its own private stage. Found in the Indo-Pacific Ocean and the Red Sea, it is notable for its unique ability to swim, something rare among sea slugs. Its movements are so graceful that they resemble the steps of a flamenco dancer, with its undulating edges creating a mesmerizing underwater spectacle. But don't be fooled by its delicate appearance. This mollusk has developed a formidable defense strategy. It feeds on toxic sponges and jellyfish, absorbing their venom to use as protection. Its eggs are laid in patterns that look like underwater roses, transforming reefs into veritable underwater gardens. Every aspect of this animal seems to have been carefully designed to maximize both its survival and its beauty. Number 18. The white bat of Honduras. The rainforests of Central America are home to one of the most unusual bats on the planet. The Honduran white bat is a tiny architect that builds elaborate shelters by folding large leaves with its sharp teeth. These natural tents can house up to 15 individuals, creating small communities suspended in the vegetation. Their diet consists exclusively of fruit, with a special preference for figs. Most surprisingly, their wings and ears have yellowish tones, a direct result of the pigments absorbed from their diet. They are the first known mammals capable of naturally dyeing parts of their body. Every aspect of this little bat, from its appearance to its building habits, makes it one of the most unique creatures in the Americas. Number 17. The electric stargazer. If there's a fish that deserves its own reality show, it's the stargazer. Just imagine, it can deliver electric shocks of up to 50 volts. It's like charging your cell phone, but underwater. It has poisonous spines on its back, and on top of that, it's an expert at hiding in the sand with only its eyes visible, looking up. Hence the name stargazer. But wait, there's more. He has a super clever trick for hunting. He uses a part of his body that looks like a little worm as bait, just like those light-up fishing rods. I have a question for you. First, I'd like to tell you that it's possible to keep up with the biggest curiosities of our world every day. But for that, you need to be subscribed to our channel. So have you subscribed yet? If not, take the opportunity to subscribe now. Now that you've done that, let's go. Number 16. The mysterious white elk. The white moose is not simply a case of albinism, as many people think. In fact, this special coloration is the result of a genetic variation that has developed over generations in isolated groups. It is a phenomenon similar to what happened with polar bears, but on a much smaller and more localized scale. Sweden has become a focal point for observing these magnificent animals, where they are occasionally caught on video. Despite their unique appearance, they are not a separate species. They are common moose with a rare genetic trait that affects the color of their coat. Their white color, while striking, can make them more vulnerable in environments where camouflage is crucial for survival. Number 15. The Iberian fighting lynx. The Iberian lynx is living proof that not every hero needs a cape. Sometimes a spotted coat and pointy ears are enough. This incredible feline almost disappeared from the map a few years ago, coming so close to extinction that it almost became the first wild cat to disappear in 10,000 years. Today, thanks to a lot of hard work and dedication, it has gone from critically endangered to just endangered, which, let's face it, is still no cause for celebration. Found only in a few special corners of Spain and Portugal, this predator is not just another cute cat in the wild. He is a living symbol of how we can change the course of history when we decide to act. His recovery is like those stories of overcoming obstacles that everyone loves, but with a four-legged protagonist and a lot of style. Number 14. The enigmatic hagfish. The hagfish is an animal that makes everyone scratch their heads in confusion. Just imagine, it has a skull, but no spine. It's as if nature decided to do an experiment and forgot to finish it. The most incredible thing is that these animals have barely changed in the last 300 million years. The only difference is that their ancestors had functional eyes, while today's hagfish are practically blind. It's as if the hagfish was that guy who found his comfort zone millions of years ago and thought, "That's fine, I don't need to evolve any further." Scientists are still racking their brains trying to understand how this fish managed to do this. Number 13. The multicolored harlequin frog. The harlequin frog is one of nature's most striking creatures, boasting an explosion of colors that include orange, red, green, yellow, brown, black, and even purple. In Panama, this amphibian is not just another animal. It is a national symbol and an important part of local folklore, representing fertility and abundance. Since the 1980s, a quiet tragedy has been unfolding. A devastating fungal disease has wiped out entire populations of these colorful frogs, making them one of the rarest species on the planet. Attempts to find new groups in other regions have been frustrating, making each sighting an extraordinary event. The situation is so dire that seeing a harlequin frog is now considered a privilege, reserved for a select few researchers and adventurers. Number 12. The ghostly white orcas. In the dark ocean waters, white orcas are like sea ghosts, so rare that only about 10 have been documented in all of history. Unlike albinism, these orcas have a condition called leucism, which causes partial loss of pigmentation while maintaining their natural eye color. Through their pale skin, you can still see traces of the iconic black markings that characterize normal orcas. This unique coloration presents significant challenges. Orcas rely on camouflage to hunt, and having a white coat is like wearing a fluorescent uniform during a covert operation. Scientists are fascinated not only by the rarity of these animals, but also by the opportunity to study how genetic and environmental factors can produce such dramatic variations in a species. Number 11. The reticulated collared lizard. Just imagine a lizard that, when it feels threatened, turns into a mini dinosaur running on 2 legs. Well, the reticulated collared lizard does exactly that. It's like it came straight out of a science fiction movie, but it's totally real, although very rare to see. During courtship, males become even more impressive, displaying golden and yellow colors on their heads and arms, a veritable natural light show. What's more, these lizards are masters at changing their social lives. They start out living in groups when they're young, but later become hermits, preferring to live alone. It's as if they're teenagers who've grown up and decided they need their own space. Number 10. The ghost shark. The ghost shark is proof that not all sharks need to be scary. Some prefer to be mysterious. For starters, it's not even a real shark, just a distant cousin that decided to go its own way in life. Living between 400 and 2,000 meters deep, it spends its days calmly gliding along the seabed, searching for small invertebrates to eat. Number 9. The star-nosed mole. If there's one animal that looks like it's straight out of a science fiction movie, it's the star-nosed mole. Imagine a little animal that can eat faster than the Flash. It can devour a worm or insect in just a quarter of a second. It's like that person who always finishes their plate first at a restaurant, but in an animal version. But what really steals the show is its nose, which looks like a mini octopus stuck to its face. With around 100,000 nerve endings, this special nose is a veritable information processing center. It's as if it had a biological supercomputer installed in its snout. In the darkness of the underground, this mole can see the world through touch, creating a neural symphony that allows it to find food in the blink of an eye. Number 8. The false flying lemur. The Sunda flying lemur is a master of deception, starting with its name. It's not a lemur, and it doesn't actually fly. It's a primate that has developed an impressive ability to glide through the trees of Southeast Asian forests. With skin membranes that stretch from its neck to its feet, it can glide over distances of more than 300 feet, losing only 30 feet of height in the process. Seeing one of these animals on the ground is virtually impossible. They avoid leaving the trees at all costs, knowing that they are vulnerable on dry land. The maternal care of these gliders is equally fascinating. The chicks cling to their mother's belly during flights, engaging in aerial acrobatics from a very young age. It is one of only 2 known species of its kind in the world, with its Philippine cousin being equally rare. Number 7. The Hercules beetle. If there were a heavyweight competition among insects, the Hercules beetle would be the undisputed champion. Ranging in size from 7 to 17 centimeters, including its impressive horn, it holds the world record for the longest insect in existence. But it's not just its size that's impressive. This giant has a few tricks up its sleeve. Males use their massive horns in sumo-style battles to try to knock down their rivals during mating season. And as if that weren't enough, these beetles are true chameleons of the insect world. They can change color depending on their environment, with females turning coal black at night. It's like a superhero of the insect world, but in beetle form. Number 6. The long-barbed umbrella bird. With a name like that, you can probably guess that this isn't just any bird, right? The long-wattled umbrella bird is like that person who always arrives at a party dressed to impress. With its wattles, those things that look like feather ties hanging from its neck, and a crest that looks like an open umbrella, it's impossible not to notice it. Living in the treetops of Central and South America, these big guys are a bit clumsy when they come down to earth. It's like watching a runway model trying to run in high heels, but when they feel threatened, they have a trick up their sleeve. They spread their wattles like a feathered shield, leaving any predators confused. Number 5. The sea pig of the deep. No, you didn't read that wrong. There really is an animal called a sea pig, and it's much more common than you might think. But you'll probably never see one in person. These curious little creatures live in the deepest parts of the ocean, where sunlight doesn't even reach. In some regions, they're so numerous that they account for 95% of the total weight of all deep-sea animals. It's as if there were an entire city of sea pigs in the depths, but to visit them you would need a submarine and a lot of courage to dive into total darkness. Number 4. The northern bald ibis. The northern bald ibis is the kind of bird that, if you saw it in an old black and white photo, you would swear it was a montage. With its unique appearance, it looks like it came straight out of a gothic horror story. In the Middle East, it is so rare that in some regions there are only about 100 pairs. To give you an idea, in Syria only 2 individuals were found. It was almost a death certificate for the species in the region. The good news is that, thanks to conservation efforts, this peculiar bird is slowly regaining its place. It's like those comeback stories we love, only with a protagonist who may not be winning any beauty contests anytime soon. Number 3. The mysterious black sea slug. The black sea slug is like that mysterious person who appears with a unique characteristic that no one can really explain. Completely black, it has a brown spot that stands out as if it were an abstract painting in the middle of a black canvas. When a diver shared a photo of this peculiar animal, the internet almost broke down trying to understand the reason for that spot. Scientists have discovered that it is a cousin of the spotted sea slug, but they still don't know if this similarity is genetic or if it is just a crazy coincidence of nature. Number 2. The white serval. The white serval is like that friend who was born different and ended up becoming a legend. Because of albinism, the result of some marriages between cousins in the feline family, these wild cats have an appearance that attracts attention. Completely white, as if they had been dipped in light paint. But not everything is rosy in the world of albino cats. Without the natural protection of pigmentation, they are more vulnerable to UV rays and can develop serious health problems. It's like that person who needs to wear sunscreen even to go to the bakery, but in a feline version. Number 1. The missing addax. Once upon a time, there was an antelope that ruled the African deserts as if they were its own backyard. The addax, with its spiral horns that look like works of art, is like an athlete who was born ready for the toughest conditions. Its fur reflects the sunlight like a natural mirror, keeping its body cool even in the most intense heat of the Sahara. And look how cool. It can suck water from even the smallest portions of food, as if it had a built-in water filter. But life for this desert super athlete hasn't been easy. Hunters have come in such force that finding an addax is like finding a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the world's largest desert. Do you see this video that is appearing on the screen? Well, now click on it. Take advantage of the fact that I have separated it especially for you. Well, that's it, and until next time, curious one.